related to some of the business results are measurable, some are not, which is one of the biggest struggles of companies trying to implement AI solutions or any technologies in general, which is, okay, so now we've piloted the solution for a little while now, little while meaning maybe, 4 to 6 weeks to 8 weeks, who knows? Definitely want to hear some best practices here. But how are they able to analyze and understand whether this is working or not? I think it goes back to your previous point, which is what are we looking at? Why do we need it in the first place? Whatever the matrix may be, let's plot and let's actually better understand if it's helpful. So the challenge perhaps is that people want to look at numbers. People want to be able to talk about numbers and feel it, prove it, put it on the pie chart. But what are, in your opinion, ways that we can actually understand the results better?
Yeah, great question. This is classic innovator's dilemma in a sense. How do I reinvent the thing that I'm already doing a good way if it's going to cost me? How do I disrupt myself? And so, using these technologies can be a disruption of yourself and what you're doing. And we have organizations, so we're saying, hey, let's embrace this new technology, let's embrace this new thing, and we have all these right reasons for it strategically. Then someone says, great, how's that going to impact the quarterly results? Oh, it's going to be a negative. Well, for how many quarters? I don't know, the next 20? What? No. Our business doesn't work that way. And that's the problem. Our businesses work a certain way, and most of them are set up to continue to replicate the success they have and do what they're doing. And why I say this is, I talk about in the book, why is metrics and what we measure and how we gauge success a human problem and not a metrics or process or technology one or systems one? It's a human problem because we set goals, we set metrics for the purposes of showing others that basically we're doing what we said we were going to do. And that could be investors or Wall Street, it could be the rest of our employees, whatever it may be. We also set metrics and goals as a way of distributing a set or limited amount of wealth that comes into the organization. And so with that, that means that there is money tied up in it, there is stock price tied up into it, and so it becomes very emotional for people. And so one of the things that we run up against is when we say, well, let's change the measure. Someone's like, wait a minute, if the measure changes, is that going to disadvantage me and advantage you? I don't think so. I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there because I like the metrics right now. I know how to play this game that I have now. Now you want to change the game. The problem is that some of these technologies require us to change the game. I mean, the classic example that everyone's talked about is Jeff Bezos and Amazon. He went public and said, I can guarantee you I'm going to lose just a lot of money for at least 5 years, maybe longer. No one had ever gone out with that proposition before, and he did, but he said, I'm going to get the market share I need. And you look at companies like Amazon, which are so incredibly successful, they still have things that they do that they lose money on all the time, but they believe that the market presence is necessary and will continue to grow until that's the only market, and eventually they'll make money on it. But it's like grocery delivery. No one makes money delivering groceries. No one, not a single company out there makes money delivering groceries. They lose it. But everybody's pursuing grocery delivery because they know where we're going. That's going to be the way it has to be. And then knows there's ways to make it work once you have enough critical mass of people and the right technology. So, once again, with these things, you have to be willing to look at your measures differently. And if you're not, if you're saying, well, but I've got to measure it the same old month by month, quarter by quarter, eke out a little bit of growth, then you're never going to be able to embrace technologies. So you really have to look at the human question of what am I measuring and why, and who is that impacting, and who's going to be resistant to me changing it if you're going to want to get anywhere with the technology. Otherwise, companies will invest in something that a vendor said, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread, and they'll put it in place, and no one will want it because they don't change any of their measures, and they make it impossible for their own organization to adopt and consume it, and they waste their money in a big way.